Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Angels, Fairies, and Witches. I am your host, Michele. As you can see, I'm kind of flying solo today. My partner, Laura, is off doing a Reiki seminar. So actually, I'm going to be with you for about 2 or 3 episodes by myself. Hope that's okay. Now, I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to cover, since usually she and I working together, but I decided that this would be a good time to answer some viewer mail. Since our premiere episode, we've been getting in a lot of phone calls, and a lot of people had questions, so I kind of took down the top 20 questions, and we're just going to go through them. These, I think, are very common questions. Most people have the same questions, so let's get started. First question, Mary writes, is witchcraft evil? No, Mary, it's not. Now, in coming episodes, I'm going to spend a lot of time teaching you what witchcraft is really about, showing you some fun spells, how to make your life easier. But for now, let me just answer that witchcraft, first of all, as a witch, we don't believe in Satan. He just doesn't exist. I'm not saying that there can't be lower energies out there or simply people doing bad things, but there is no Satan. There's nothing evil about it. At its core, it's just a very earth-based faith that believes in karma, the principles of karma. What you put out is what you get back. So obviously, you'd want to maximize that and put out good feelings and good intentions. Respecting Mother Earth, making almost everything you do a ritual, and celebrating, honoring moon cycles, different holidays, different times of the year. Basically, the witchcraft motto is along the lines of eat, drink, and be merry, and harm none. That is the witchcraft motto. Do what ye will, yet harm none. Therefore, Mary, witchcraft, not evil, not at all. Okay, our next question comes from Michael, and he wants to know, do the dead people watch you in the shower? Okay, Michael, no, they don't. I'm not saying that they can't, but I really don't think they do. In my house, where this is being filmed, by the way, because I do tarot card readings and I do mediumship and I have a lot of gatherings, there's spirits throughout the house all the time. I would be horrified if I thought they were watching me in the shower, in the bathroom, having sex. So I like to think that they really respect your privacy. So let's go with no on that one. They don't watch you in the shower. Susan, this is question number 3. Susan wants to know, can spirits harm you? Susan, they absolutely cannot. I have a friend who had a lot of tragedy in her life within her house. She had a sibling or 2 that had killed themselves, and just a lot of bad things had happened in that house. And so recently she went back and she was going down her basement steps, and she felt that a spirit caused her to trip and fall down the stairs. And, you know, now she's sort of laid up with a back injury. Let me explain that, okay? The cumulative effects of all the negative and the negative energy that's been going on in the house caused my friend to become nervous, caused her to not pay attention to where she was going. Literally, her how do I want to say this? It confused her thinking. She confused her thinking with all this buildup of negativity, and she wasn't paying attention to where she was going, and she lost her footing, okay? Spirits, particularly those of the lower form, they can definitely pester you. They can try to scare you, you know, by you seeing things out of the corner of your eye, but they absolutely cannot physically harm you in any way. 1,000% impossible. Okay. Meryl has a question. She wants to know, what is the difference between a ghost and a spirit? Okay, there's actually a great deal of difference. In my mediumship experience, which is 25 years about, I have encountered one ghost. I get phone calls very often. Well, not very often. I get phone calls often enough. People think they have a ghost in the attic and they want me to come over and ghost bust. And I get there and come to find out it's a squirrel or a raccoon in the attic. So that means they need an exterminator, not a witch. A ghost, the only one I've seen, I was in Colonial, Pennsylvania, and it was this very, very old house. It was the, goodness, I wish I could tell you because it's a fun place to go. The General Wayne Inn, W-A-Y-N-E, I think that's it, in Pennsylvania, and it is renowned for having ghosts of several soldiers from the Civil War. Additionally, Edgar Allan Poe wrote a lot of The Raven there, and he can be spotted sitting at a table having a glass of wine, my kind of ghost. So that's not answering the question. A ghost is somebody who often dies very fast, very unexpectedly, and just refuses to believe that they're dead. Spirits are anybody who's deceased and now in spirit form, and that can even be in the form of animals, deceased relatives that you know, spirits that have come attached to the house. But I see there's another question about that, so I'll hold on that. Anyway, the difference between a ghost and a spirit is a ghost refuses to believe that they're dead, whereas spirits just kind of mill around. Again, neither can cause harm to you at all. They can sometimes be a little problematic, and in further discussion, I'll tell you how to eradicate them, if that's what you want to do. Okay, the next question comes from Carla. I didn't know we had so many viewers already. Carla wants to know, are all dreams prophetic? Okay, first let me explain what prophetic means. Prophetic is prophecy. It's seeing into the future. It can also be called precognitive. You see something or you dream something before it happens. I would not say that all dreams are prophetic. You know, sometimes you just have the occasional bad burrito and dream some really whacked out stuff. In general, or also, you know, if you go to bed and there's a problem that you're worrying about, your mind can play tricks on you and conjure up just some of the worst images. An actual prophetic or precognitive dream would be extremely vivid in color, in content, to the point that you would wake up. It's been suggested that the spiritual energy is at its peak from 2:30 a.m. to about 4 a.m. So if during that time, 2:30 a.m. to 4 a.m., you wake up out of a dream, it could be bad, it could be good, and you're remembering people and faces and color and feeling and surrounding, I always encourage people to get themselves a journal and write it all down, because if you go back to sleep and wait till the alarm goes off at 6, you will actually have lost over 85% of that dream. And dreams can yield such valuable information. You know, another thing, sorry, it's a little hot under these lights. Another thing is I really discourage people from buying a dream dictionary. And here's why. I've dreamt tons of things that you could never even find in a dream dictionary. Your dreams are another way that God and the angels and the spirits, that they try to communicate with you, because let's face it, during the day you're running around, you have a million things to do, a million things on your mind. So sometimes they get you when you're asleep. There really are no bad dreams. Sometimes, though, dreams do serve as a warning, and they should really be heeded. The reason I discourage people from buying a dream dictionary is because, let's use water as an example. Now, the meaning of water is actually pretty universal. It usually refers to your emotions. I know sometimes when people are going through divorce or sickness, oftentimes they'll dream that they're in choppy water. Or that's one of my cats, in case you heard. I've got 6. Or sometimes they'll dream that they're literally in the midst of, you know, the ocean, and here comes a tidal wave. So whereas water is almost always about emotion, I happen to love being in the water. So if I had a dream I was in the water, I would consider it invigorating and refreshing and relaxing and fun. But some of you out there may have a terrible fear of water. So if you dreamt that you were in water, it would not be so good. And the dream dictionary tends to be a little too general. So my suggestion is this. Buy yourself a blank journal. When you're getting ready to fall asleep, put it into your cognizant mind that, okay, I want to have a dream tonight. You can either put out a specific problem or just see what the universe wants you to know. And again, be mindful between 2:30 a.m. and 4 a.m. See if you wake up. If you do, absolutely jot it down. And then if in a day or two it comes to pass, or something similar to the dream comes to pass, it was a prophetic dream. Thank you, Carla. That was a great question. Okay, Cynthia wants to know, what is the difference between witchcraft and sorcery? Very little difference, actually. It's been suggested that a witch can create situations simply with brain power, whereas a sorceress tends to have to use things, herbs and potions. That's the conventional thinking, but honestly, I'm a witch and I use potions and spells all the time. Ooh, you know what, Cynthia? I think you might have stumped me on this. Sorcery is definitely involved in witchcraft. So if sorcery is the usage of potions, spells, divination tools, the crystal ball, the tarot card, the pendulum, scrying, oh, the list is endless. That's all a part of witchcraft. So I'm going to say that they're actually one and the same. I think they're very similar. But if I'm wrong, feel free, anybody out there, to let me know. Deborah wants to know, how do the dead communicate? Well, let's see. There's a lot of different ways. Sometimes people feel that they really need the services of a medium in order to hear from their departed loved ones. Not true. And in coming episodes, I'm going to teach people how they can do this themselves. It's very easy. And, you know, like I said, the deceased have a lot to say, usually. If you have a dream, if you have somebody who recently died, and you have a dream and it looks like they're suffering and they're in pain, or the fires of hell, once again, that is just Hollywood. That is your mind playing tricks on you. That stuff just does not exist. If, however, you have a dream and you're visited by your loved one, let's say, for example, if they had died of cancer. I work in a nursing home, so unfortunately it's something I see on a daily basis, and towards the end of their lives, everybody who has cancer just, you know, you don't look good, put it that way. But if you have a dream and your departed loved one comes to you and looks the same, they're always going to look the same, but healthier, fuller, radiant, that, my friends, is a visit. That is one of the #1 ways that the deceased can communicate with you. There's so many others. Songs on the radio. I have a very good friend who, ever since his father died, he finds pennies everywhere. And so that's, for him, a sign when he finds random pennies in places you wouldn't normally find pennies. Just his father stopping by to say hello. Tell him good work, keep up the good work, thank you, I appreciate you. Sometimes they can actually move things around. I know my father died about 4 years ago, and every once in a while, they're very big on birthdays and holidays and anniversaries. I'll find a picture of him, you know, on the wall that's slightly askew. I remember years back I was going through this long divorce, and I was going to court, and I was nervous, and my father had always been my go-to guy and would really calm me down. And I was feeling very lost because he wasn't with me. So it just goes to show you, even if you're a medium, you can forget these very basic things sometimes. And as I was getting ready to go, I saw a picture of his face down. So, of course, I went to pick it up, and it was his picture. And I just had this flood of emotion. I knew that was his way of saying, hey, I'm with you. You're going to be fine. No worries. All the things he would have said to me if he were in human form. You know, that's the thing about the deceased. I know I'm getting a little off topic. I know I've been told not to get off topic. But when somebody you love dies, what's really just happened is that the shell, the battery, has just worn down. Their spirit is eternal, youthful, healthy. So if you had a relationship with somebody who died and you loved them and they loved you, death doesn't change that. It really doesn't. You have to get a little more creative. It's sort of a new way of dealing with the relationship. Doesn't change a thing. Really doesn't. How else can they communicate with you? Sometimes, as you're falling asleep, you may hear them call your name. Very softly. Just your name, that's all. You may feel the slightest touch on your cheek, on your shoulder. Boy, we're going to have to spend, when Laura gets back, we're going to have to spend a couple episodes talking about this because there's so many ways. And they're always trying to communicate with you. And the one thing I really want to say, and I'm off the topic again, but I'm going to get back on it. Like I said, I've been doing this mediumship for about 25 years. And I have never once been told the lottery numbers. It just doesn't work that way. What I learned for myself, which was a very valuable lesson, is that time and time and time again, the messages from the deceased and also from the living to the deceased are always I love you. Could, of course, be I miss you. But you know what the number one thing is? This is sad, actually. It's regret. I can't tell you how many times people will come to me. I wish I had told my father I loved him. I wish I had taken that job. I wish this, I wish that. And you know what? The deceased are saying exactly the same thing. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's actually been very important for me personally because that taught me not to regret anything. You know, people don't always like to take chance or risk. But, hey, better to do it now than to be dead and wish you had said, take the chance. Tell the person you love them. Try for that impossible job. Take a trip across country, or one of my favorite things to do with Laura. Oh, I keep making us sound like a couple. She's going to kill me when she sees this. One of my favorite things to do is get in the car. Now, we're here in Queens. Well, obviously, it's Queens Public Television. Drive out to Long Island. Drive up to Pennsylvania. Drive upstate New York. And just find small town USA. You know, walk into the diner, buy some fresh produce at the farm stand, really get to meet the locals. Don't know why I'm talking about that right now, but we're going to get back on the subject, okay? Along with Deborah's question about how do the dead communicate, I'd like to say a personal word about psychics. I'm sure there's some very fine ones out there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fraudulent ones, and most of the people that come to me, whether it's for mediumship or tarot card readings, spells, potions, what do you have it, have been horribly, horribly deceived by these so-called psychics. I think every time I say the word, I'm going to finger quote it. I have had some, and if this has happened to you, don't feel like a fool. I've had people come to me that are extremely educated, have really good jobs, come from good families. None of that matters. You know, they had a crisis, a broken heart, somebody who died, some financial loss, some big worry, and they go to see a psychic in the hopes of getting some clarity and seeing into the future and getting some answers. And what has happened time after time is that these psychics have bilked innocent people out of hundreds, even thousands of dollars, okay? So unless I only operate word of mouth, I only see people that come from people that I know, and I would never see anybody more than twice a year because first of all, you don't need it. And second of all, that's really taking advantage, I think, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that someone has put a curse on you. Okay, this is very, very important. If you listen to nothing else I say, and you might not, please listen to this. Curses don't exist, okay? The only one that can curse you is you. If you go around saying, my life sucks. Can I say sucks? He said I could say sucks. My life sucks. Nobody likes me. I'm always broke. I hate my job. Well, you know what? That's karma. And if you keep putting that stuff out to the universe, you're going to get more of the same, okay? But people can be made to believe that curses have been put on them. Sometimes things in life happen. Sometimes you get a broken heart. Sometimes you get fired for no reason. Sometimes people die very unexpectedly. Things happen, okay? But if you really start to believe that there are people that can put curses on you, you are instantly going to become so fear-based and so terrified. You know, one of my ex-husbands, and you know who you are if you're watching, convinced himself and tried to convince the court that I can put curses on people. And let's face it, maybe I could. I just never tried and I never would. So this fool, anytime he's doing anything in life, can you just imagine? And I have to say, I think it's a little funny. Let's say he's walking down the block and trips over his shoelace. He's probably convinced I put a curse on him. Now, I know it's nonsense, but yeah, I think I'm enjoying that just a little bit too much. Anyway, just again, please be very cautious if you're going to go see a psychic, okay? Unless they've been referred to you and you know them to be truly ethical. It's very important. I don't really charge for my readings. And I'm not saying it's wrong to charge, because it is an energy exchange. But I can't imagine anybody expecting more than $25. So please, just be very careful about that. Do we have time for more questions? We have time for more questions. Okay, Dan. Dan wants to know, how do spirits get into your house? And Dan has a follow-up question. And how do you get rid of them? Okay, Dan. Spirits can get into your house in a number of ways. First of all, it may be your spirits, for example, your departed loved ones. They're always around you. Again, referring back to the second question, they're not watching you in the shower, not in the bathroom, not having sex. They're always around. And like I said, they like to particularly come around holidays, birthdays, anniversary of their death is a big thing. So either the spirits in your house are the ones that are just close to you, or you could have gone, how many of you out there like yard sales? Oh, big fan. Big fan. And nothing wrong with that. I've had some of just the most amazing finds. Please do me a favor, because it only takes a few seconds. I don't care what your purchase is, whether it's a couch, some plates, an old painting, a bicycle for your child. Before you bring it anywhere into your house, you must take a moment or two to cleanse it. Cleansing is extremely important and extremely easy, okay? There's a number of ways to cleanse an object. I feel the fastest and the easiest is a stick of incense. They even sell those at 7-Eleven. Or you can get some, really nice stuff. It doesn't matter. You want to burn the incense, and again, it comes in so many different varieties. It really doesn't matter. It's your intention. I mean, something good would be sage. Sage is excellent. But you know what? In a pinch, you can use anything, because really the thing that's going to do the cleansing is the smoke from the incense, okay? And you just kind of want to go, in witchcraft, we would tell you that clockwise is called deosil. That's stuff that you want to bring into your life, and more on this down the road. Widdershins is counterclockwise, okay? That's things you want to get rid of. So you want to go, whether it's around the couch or, if it's a plate, you want to go counterclockwise. I like 3 times. Do what you feel is good. Because what you want to do, even if the object came from the nicest person in the loveliest house, don't take a chance, Okay, and I learned from my own mistakes, because I had times that had this great purchase and I was so excited to get it home, and I didn't stop for those 2 minutes it took to do a cleansing, and I brought it in the house, and so then I had a little unwanted company. Okay, so anything you get from a flea market, a yard sale, even if a family member or neighbor says, oh, here, I thought you might like this. 2 minutes, not even. 3 times around, and I only have a minute left. I would like to thank everybody for letting me into your homes this evening. I think I'll be flying solo again next week because Laura is off doing Reiki. So thank you very much. And for Angels, Fairies, and Witches, this is Michele. Have a blessed day.